Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you my May TBR because it is time for the Asian Readathon. This TBR comes to you a little bit late because I was holding out hope that we will get a Medievalathon as well, but I had only the tiniest sliver of hope and it doesn't seem to be happening. So I thought, you know what, today I'm just gonna share with you my Asian Readathon TBR. I'm very excited to read a lot of these books in the month of May. This is one of my favorite readathons and it has 5 prompts. I will link the announcement video down below. This is hosted by Cindy every year, and I think she does a really good job choosing prompts as well. So this year the prompts are based on a new movie that is coming out. I forgot the name, but it looks really fun and it is talked about in the announcement video, so I would highly recommend you go and check it out if you haven't already. But now let's just see which books are on my TBR for the Asian Readathon this year. So we have the 5 prompts as we do every year, and then we have this additional challenge that these books should be from authors that are from different regions or different countries that belong to Asia as well. So this is one that I always struggle with a little bit because I don't enjoy googling after all of the authors and just finding out where their parents came from and stuff like that. It just always feels a bit icky. So I try to only use authors where they are very open about where they are from or where their parents are from or something like that. But that obviously also is a bit odd because there is probably so many Asian authors that have mixed heritage or they just don't want to share it, and so yeah, I have mixed feelings about this, so just bear with me. I'm trying my best, okay? So the 5 prompts, let's start with number 1. So the first challenge is always to read a book by an Asian author, and since I am in the middle of this series right now, I had to put the next book on this list, and that would be The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. This is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty series. I'm currently reading the first book and I'm already loving it, so I definitely want to continue on as soon as possible with this second book. And this is a high fantasy series that so far doesn't really have a lot of magic, but it is a completely different world from ours, but it is inspired by Chinese history, and it's basically kind of like Game of Thrones. There is a lot of political stuff at play and I really enjoy it. And so yeah, this would be the second book. I obviously have no clue what's going on in this one because I don't want to spoil myself for the first one, but I can't wait. And these covers are just gorgeous. I'm so thankful for the person who created these. They're stunning. So I would count this for China as the country. The second prompt is to read a book featuring a friendship between at least 2 Asian characters. And for this prompt I want to read, I think this is called Sweet Bean Paste. Am I correct? The English translation is not always stuck in my head, by Durian Tsukegawa. So this is a book from a Japanese author. I have heard very high praise, and it is about these 3 very different people. We have an ex-con man, Sentaro, we have a schoolgirl, Wakana, and then we have an old woman, Toku. And they meet for some reason, and I guess it has something to do with food because of the bean paste. And I think it is just about these very different people coming together, forming friendships. And so yeah, I've only heard great things about this book, so I hope I will love it. The next prompt is to read a book by an Asian author that focuses on identity or self-discovery. And for that I chose the book Sea Change. This was written by Gina Zhang, and this has to do with an octopus, and that's pretty much all I have to know to be interested in a book. But I think it also has something to do with self-discovery and yeah, this main character going through something where maybe an octopus is being helpful. I don't know, but yeah, just the cover drew me in immediately. I love octopuses. You can't see right now because it's up there, but I have a huge painting of one in my living room, so I need to read this book. And I would count this one for Korea. Then I want to get to a sequel of a book that I read last year for the Asian Readathon. The prompt is to read a book by an Asian author about going on an adventure. I hope that this fits because I'm not quite sure what's happening in the book, but this is Realm of Ash. This is the kind of sequel companion to Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri, and I think Tasha Suri is of Indian descent, so I would count it for that. And yeah, in this book we follow the little sister of the main character of the first book, so that's why I don't really know what's going to happen, because we see a little bit of this character in the first book, but then they get separated and we don't actually really know what's going on with the sister. So I have heard mixed things about this one. I think people usually prefer the first book, but since I really enjoyed that, I thought I wanted to know what is going on in this one as well. I think this is more of a YA fantasy. The first book had a very prominent desert setting, but I don't know if this one will be the same. But yeah, we're just following this young girl who has to figure stuff out because her mother was from a kind of people that are hunted in this world, or like discriminated against and stuff like that. And her father is like a very powerful politician. So she's kind of between these worlds. And yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what her journey is. And then the last prompt is to read a book with an Asian character that is a hot mess or famous or eccentric. And for that I chose Siren Queen by Niveau because I can't believe I still haven't read this book. It was one of my most anticipated releases when it came out, and I still haven't gotten to it. Now let me know if this is wrong, but I think I would count that for Vietnam. But this is one I'm very unsure about, and you can correct me if you feel like it. But in this one we are following an Asian woman who wants to become big in Hollywood. And I think this is set in the 50s or something like that, so it is historical fiction, but it also has magical elements. This is very much in the vein of The Chosen and the Beautiful, which was a Gatsby retelling, but also had a little bit of magic sprinkled in there, and I really enjoyed that one. I, in general, really enjoy Niveau's books, so I am so happy to finally have a reason to pick Siren Queen up. Now that is my set TBR, but I hope that I will get to more than these 5 books in May. So I do have a couple of other books that I could read that are potential like contenders. And so I wanted to quickly go over these, but just like mention them. I'm not going to explain a lot about them. So the obvious choice would be to continue with the Dandelion series, the Dandelion Dynasty series. I have the Speaking Bones and the Whale's Throne as well, so these are massive. So I will take my time with these and probably read books in between, but these are definitely very high on my TBR in general, so I hope that maybe I could even get to more of just one book from the series. Another book that is on my spring TBR is Disability Visibility by Alice Wong, which would be a nice non-fiction book to squeeze into the month. Then 2 books I got for my birthday, I believe. As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows by Zulfa Khattu should count too, because this is about Syria. And we have the next volume of Small Cat Chi. This is volume 7 by Konami Kanata, which is a very cute kind of like middle grade manga series. For a short story collection I really want to get to, I have Cursed Bunny by Bora Chum. This one my best friend gave me. I don't really know much about it, but it's called Gacha Gotcha by Vivek Shambhak. Then one I definitely want to read this year is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I really loved her first novel, and so I really need to read the rest of them. And one book that I will probably not read this month because I want to read the first one before I get into this one, but I still have to read Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong and then finally continue on with This World. And then I also have a ton of very interesting audio books on my wish list that would fit into this. So one that is coming out in May and I think many people might pick up is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Then one series I would love to continue next month is the Singing Hills cycle. So the next book I would have to read is When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Niveau. Another author that I've read last year for the first time and would love to read more of is Melissa Bashadust, so I could read Girls Made of Snow and Glass. And another one, Adiba Jagera. I really want to read A Million to One. That sounds fantastic. Then a book that is also very new and would fit quite well is called Flux by Jinwoo Jung. And this one seems to be a literary time travel novel. Then a book that I'm so mad I didn't pick up when it came out because I really like the sound of it is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. So yeah, that also still intrigues me. Then a book that I have only heard like one review of, but it sounds so fascinating. I immediately put it on my wish list. The Thousand Crimes of Ming Tzu by Tom Lin. This I think is a Western, but with an Asian main character, I believe. Another author I should have tried a long time ago, but still haven't, is Rin Chupeco, and I have their book The Sacrifice on my list. Then there is a ton of like very beautiful and very interesting Asian duologies, and one that I'm interested in is the Book of Tea duology with A Magic Steeped in Poison as the first book, and this is by Judy Lin. A book that is currently free on my Audible subscription is Gear Breakers by Zoe Hannah Mikuta, and this one looks really fun as well. It has this kind of like Pacific Rim kind of touch, I don't know. And lastly, a book that has been on my wish list for way too long is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. So yeah, I have a lot to choose from for my audiobooks as well. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a fantastic reading month. I hope you're excited too. Let me know what you will be reading for Asian Readathon, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!